Have you ever felt stuck, stagnant, and unmotivated to work on something that once brought you great joy? Something that, when the idea came to you, made you giddy with excitement to start. But now that motivation has dwindled, the inspiration fades. It is a struggle to get started. The ideas seem further and further apart. You can't visualize what that next step is. I know this feeling so well. In fact, that feeling is why I started this tarot journal in the first place. I needed a place to work through these feelings. I have so many creative projects that I started with such passion that are now just collecting dust or are forgotten about completely, both figuratively and metaphorically. Some people can push through this stagnation. Some have the desire to finish things and are just able to keep pushing. I do not have that motivation. I am not one of these people. I get distracted by the next idea. I have notebooks full of ideas that I would need years to be able to complete all of them. That brings us back to motivation. How do you get past this feeling of being stuck, stagnant, unmotivated, uninspired? For me, it's connecting with my why. Why did I even start this project in the first place? How did I feel when I first had the idea or heard of the concept? I take time to reconnect with that feeling. Whether this is taking time to draw my feelings, whether it's time to journal or to meditate, it is important for me to take time to reconnect with those feelings. I may find that that feeling no longer brings me joy. Perhaps it did not work out as planned, or I needed more funds to get the project going. But the important thing is that I take the time to be brutally honest with myself. Sometimes I discover that it is truly a road that I no longer want to go down. Sometimes I decide that the positives no longer outweigh the negatives. Perhaps the funding issue or logistical issues will just put the project aside for another day. But being truly honest with myself gives me permission to stop thinking about it when I no longer want to. But what if the only reason you stop was because you paused and lost motivation? It's like taking a week away from your diet or exercise routine and realizing how hard it is to start again once you've lost that momentum, once you've paused. In times like these, I reconnect with my why. I reconnect with all the reasons, no matter how big or small, that made me want to start in the first place. Was the end goal really ever the thing that inspired me? Usually it's all the little steps along the way that provide excitement. The people I could meet, the stories I could tell, and the mess I could make. So often, it's not about that perfect finished project. I do not paint for the commission check. I paint for the feel of the paint moving across the canvas. I paint for the way the colors interact and play with each other. I paint so that I can get the image out of my head and into this physical world. We don't read books for the ending. We read them for the characters we fall in love with, or the ones we hate. We read for the adventures we may never be able to experience ourselves. We read for knowledge. We read for the enjoyment of reading. The ending without the journey is not exciting. Existing in the end without understanding how you got there doesn't make sense. Being handed something finished that you wanted to create is so anticlimactic. The journey can also cause the end to change, which should be exciting. We shouldn't be so set on a finished vision that slight or major deviations derail us and demotivate us. If we don't allow for this freedom within the journey, we will never know what we are truly capable of. The end goal, the finished product, it's nice. It is a wonderful stage to reach, but it is not the only reason for living. It is like the saying, when you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you will land among the stars. We should be so lucky as to land among the stars.